Relationships, whether familial, romantic, or friendship, shape our lives in countless ways. Yet they can also be a source of our greatest challenges and vulnerabilities. To build meaningful, fulfilling connections, we must look within and nurture our inner selves, setting a foundation of resilience, balance, and purpose. The ancient Stoics believed that we cannot control others or dictate the outcome of relationships. We can only control ourselves, our own actions, responses, and attitudes. By embracing this mindset, we bring clarity and strength to our relationships. As you read through these insights, remember the words of Epictetus: "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Here are 16 essential lessons, each rooted in Stoic philosophy, to help you nurture resilient, balanced relationships that encourage both personal growth and mutual respect. Lesson 1. Emotional dependency. Depending on others to feel happy can lead to an unstable sense of self. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true contentment comes from within, not from external sources. This doesn't mean we should detach emotionally, but rather balance connection with a sense of inner stability. If you lean too heavily on someone else for happiness, you risk losing yourself in that relationship. As Seneca advised, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. By grounding yourself in internal contentment, you can be a steady, supportive partner rather than one who requires constant reassurance. Lesson 2. Seeking constant approval. The need for validation from others often stems from insecurity. According to Stoic wisdom, our self-worth should come from our own actions and virtues, not the approval of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." By developing a healthy sense of self, we become more genuine in relationships, not reliant on praise or affirmation to feel worthy. This self-acceptance leads to relationships built on authenticity and mutual respect. Lesson 3. Over-attachment. Attachment is natural in relationships, but becoming overly attached can create a fear of loss and an inability to cope when circumstances change. The Stoics encourage us to cherish relationships without clinging, understanding that all things are impermanent. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." By accepting the impermanence of relationships, we can appreciate each moment fully without fearing what the future may bring, which deepens our ability to be present and engaged. Lesson 4. Holding on to resentment. Resentment is a heavy burden that only harms the one who carries it. The Stoics encourage us to view others' actions with detachment and forgiveness, freeing ourselves from the emotional weight of grudges. Epictetus noted, "Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all blame as foolish." When we release resentment, we create space for healing and growth, which can strengthen and rejuvenate our relationships. This mindset allows us to approach situations with an open heart, ready to repair rather than resent. Lesson 5. Unmet expectations. Expecting others to meet all our emotional or practical needs often sets us up for disappointment. Stoicism teaches that while we can hope for understanding, we should not expect others to fulfill our every need or conform to our wishes. Expecting is the greatest impediment to living. "In anticipation of tomorrow, it loses today," said Seneca. Accepting people as they are frees us from constant disappointment and empowers us to find joy in the present, appreciating others for who they are rather than what they can provide. Lesson 6. Comparison and envy. In relationships, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves or our partnerships to others, leading to insecurity and envy. Stoicism advises us to focus on our own path, striving to be better than our past selves rather than competing with others. Seneca put it simply, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be." Embracing gratitude and focusing on what we bring to the table allows us to build connections based on appreciation rather than competition. Lesson 7. The urge to control others. Attempting to control others' behaviors or choices often leads to conflict and frustration. The Stoics remind us that we have control only over our own actions and responses. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength, advised Marcus Aurelius. When we let go of the urge to control others, we allow relationships to develop naturally. By accepting people as they are, we cultivate harmony and inner peace, which enhances connection. Lesson 8. Keeping score. Constantly keeping track of who gives more in a relationship can turn it into a competitive tally, undermining trust and unity. Stoicism encourages consistency in our virtues, even if it's inconvenient or unacknowledged. Seneca advised, "To live a life of virtue, you have to become consistent, even when it isn't convenient." By focusing on what we give rather than what we receive, we foster a sense of shared purpose and reduce resentment, creating a foundation for lasting harmony. Lesson 9. Lack of reciprocity. While healthy relationships involve mutual give and take, it's essential to accept that people have different capacities for giving. Stoicism teaches us to honor our own virtues and actions without expecting others to mirror them. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." If you feel your efforts aren't being reciprocated, set healthy boundaries and focus on cultivating relationships where your values are shared and respected. Lesson 10. Betrayal. Betrayal is one of the most painful experiences in relationships, but Stoicism offers a way to confront it with resilience. "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," said Epictetus. Betrayal reflects the other person's character, not your own worth. By processing your feelings with clarity and composure, you gain the strength to move forward, using the experience to reaffirm your values and make choices aligned with your self-respect. Lesson 11. Selective availability. When someone is inconsistently available, it can make you feel undervalued. Stoicism teaches that our worth is inherent and should not be determined by others' behavior. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your judgment of them." By detaching from the actions of those who are selectively available, you empower yourself to prioritize relationships that are reliable and supportive. Lesson 12. Feeling guilty for setting boundaries. Boundaries are crucial for mental and emotional well-being. Stoicism reminds us that while we can control our actions, we cannot control how others perceive or react to them. Epictetus wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Boundaries, set with intention, are an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Trust that setting limits protects your peace even if others disagree. Over time, this practice reinforces your own values and encourages others to respect it. Lesson 13. Lack of personal interest. Relationships should be reciprocal in terms of interest and investment. When someone shows little interest in you, it's a sign to reassess the relationship. Associate with people who are likely to improve you, Seneca suggested. Seek out connections that encourage mutual understanding, listening, and empathy. This ensures you spend time with people who genuinely value your presence, fostering healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Lesson 14. One-sided conversations. Good relationships thrive on balanced conversations where each person is valued and heard. Stoic wisdom teaches us to approach all interactions with fairness. Nature has given us one tongue but two ears, so that we may hear twice as much as we speak, said Epictetus. By fostering an atmosphere of mutual listening, you create connections where both people feel valued and understood, nurturing trust and mutual respect. Lesson 15. Superficial closeness. Superficial connections may fill time but rarely satisfy our deeper needs. Stoicism values authenticity and sincerity as the foundation of meaningful relationships. Epictetus wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions but in having few wants." Prioritize relationships where you can be your truest self, and let go of shallow interactions to make room for connections that resonate with your values and aspirations. Lesson 16. Embracing self-respect in relationships. Ultimately, self-respect is the cornerstone of a healthy relationship. The Stoics believe that self-respect is achieved through mastering oneself and one's emotions. No man is free who is not master of himself, said Epictetus. By honoring your worth, practicing self-respect, and valuing your boundaries, you set the tone for every relationship in your life. Seek connections that support and uplift you, reinforcing your dignity and encouraging your growth. Lasting relationships are built on both resilience and wisdom. When you focus on what you can control, your actions, character, and choices, you naturally attract relationships rooted in mutual respect, authenticity, and real understanding. The Stoics taught us that the best connections come from bringing our full, authentic selves into every interaction. Grounded in balance and virtue, we create bonds that not only endure, but uplift and inspire. Ready to dive deeper into the art of meaningful relationships? Follow us for more insights and tips on building connections that empower both you and those around you.